Hey everybody, it's us, Simon and Josh from Time Zones and Time Meters. Thanks for joining us. This is an exciting episode today. We're going to be launching into our favorite albums of 2024. Now, I don't know about you, Simon, but for me, my favorite thing about the end of the year is watching everyone else's best of the year sort of YouTube clips and stuff. I trawl the internet for what everyone else thinks is the best, and then usually I spend about 6 months catching up. And this is why I want to release this now, because I feel like I've digested the best of what other people think too.
You caught up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, I think I still have some releases of last year that I might not have had enough listens to yet, or of course, there's still yet things to discover. But absolutely, I think I have a better idea of what my favorite albums are of last year now than I had in January.
I think, yeah, I mean, there's a few that I still haven't quite got to, but most of the main ones that I was really excited about, I definitely have. So that's
Yep.
cool. And look, it was a good year, hey. When you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
like, let's do a best top 10, I thought to myself like, oh yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. And then, as
Should we do?
always,
Should we count down from 10 to 9? Do honorable mentions and then one?
yeah, I think. Oh, how's about we do honorable mentions first? What do you
Yeah,
reckon?
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
let's do that.
All
So,
right.
so how's about you start with, if you want to just quickly list like a few honorable mentions? Let's give them a
Yeah,
go.
yeah, for sure, sure. So there was a bunch of records that was on my list but didn't quite make it. Kaipa was one of them with Sommargryningsljus. Finnskogen, Flora did not make it. Bent Knee, 20
Oh
Pills
yeah.
Without Water, did not make it. North Sea Echoes, really good exclusive things, did not make it. Frost, Life in the Wires was never really a contender, but it was released early in the year, so therefore it was on my
Yeah.
potential list. Albion, Lake Songs from the Elbid, did not make it in the end. That was yeah, not many people have heard that album. Fontaine's DC Romance did not make it, and Caligula's Horse did not make my list.
Well, I think there's some pretty crazy special mentions. Some of them I've never heard of. So I'm like, damn
Yeah,
it, I missed some. I missed some. But no, the
yeah,
Bentley one
yeah.
was close for me. I did explore the Frost album as well. I thought it was fine. Like it was good. It didn't make my top 10 neither.
Uh,
I'd
I had none
also,
of these albums.
yeah, no, I'm saying, right? So, and funnily enough, well, we'll get to mine anyway. I might have got one. But I also wanted to put a special mention down for Dirt Paul Robbins. They did an album called Firebird, which I thought was quite cool actually, and enjoyed that. I did. Look, Rendezvous Point was really close for me. They did an album called Dream Chaser, which is Bård Kolstad, the drummer from Leprous' other band. So they've got like a pretty rocky, groovy kind of album there. I've also got down. Look, and this one had definitely just edged out. Mother of Millions released an album called Magna Mater, and I know I brought them up previously, but in the end, they got kicked out of my top 10 by a few of these other ones. So I've just got those ones down as my sort of primary special mentions. Although were some other stuff on there, they're probably the major ones.
Yeah. All right. Should I go for what did make it?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to start with your 10?
Yeah, I'll start with my number 10. My number 10 is Huis. Huis. So it's a Dutch word meaning home or house. House, yeah, house it is. And the record is In the Face of the Unknown. This is a Canadian band. It's the third release. It's not a very big band. It's capital P prog. What really separates this album from the rest is the production here. It's so crisp and clear. The separation is maximum. You can hear a needle drop while they're shredding. Yeah. I mean, the songs are good. The instrumentalists are good. But what really brings it up is the production. So, best production of last year, House.
Yeah, cool. I didn't see that, hear it at all. And I don't doubt for a second too that you and I will have lots that don't. Because for those that don't, like, haven't tuned into us before, we do have a different sort of scope that we tend to spend time in, right? So it'll be interesting. I've got actually a new addition, the Old Dead Tree. We spoke about this very early on this year. I've decided that Second Thoughts really was good enough to be able to sort of put in the top 10. It edged out the Rendezvous Point for me. Look, it's a really consistent album. It's a good one. It's hooky. This is a French band. They come from like a doom and death background. But in actual fact, they're very sort of rocky and very sort of hooky and I don't know, kind of pretty easy to digest, but they sort of flow. And the album's really consistent with some fantastic songs, some fantastic music. But when they growl, they growl. When they get angry, they get angry. And there's I don't know, there's a real feeling of sort of sorrow and excitement and just so many mixed emotions within it. I think it's a sort of killer record. And for those of you out there who I know have checked it out, that I'm sure you'll agree, it's a pretty solid album, a really solid album. What do you got in for number 9, my friend?
I can tell you, House does not get angry and growl, and neither does my number 9, which is The Pineapple Leaf, or The Pineapple Leaf. The album It Leads to This. This was, this band has existed for a while, and I had not heard them until this year, until this release. And but all the prog people were talking about it, and on Reddit, people were not enthusiastic about this album. So I was, a bit reluctant to check it out. But in the end, I did. And I regret not doing it earlier because this is a super, super nice album. It's, it's very mellow, laid back prog, so to speak, but it straight hits the heart. It's like, cotton for your ears. Very, maybe sometimes it's best when something is undersold and, you get positively surprised by it. But The Pineapple Leaf with It Leads to This is my number 9.
Was that because I've tried to get into the Pineapple Thief in the past and really struggled with it. It's that indie sound. Yep. I'm not sure it's my jam, but was it the same sort of sound as what their other stuff was, or did they change much?
Yeah, look, I have yet to discover the rest of their discography. I heard 1 or 2 tracks previously. I don't think it differs too much. If anything, I think this is more mellow.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool, awesome. Just wanted to know. I'll write it down. I'll check it out. And definitely probably worth it. Shall I move on to my 9th? So,
yeah, please do.
My 9th one is a solo artist named sga'l, I think it's pronounced, sga'l, sga'l. He released an album called Traverse the Belloc. I don't know, terrible. Bealeach, for those that are trying to look it up. Look, it's, how would I describe it? It's post-metal meets power metal. I think his inspiration was meant to be like the Scottish, like, wilderness. It's kind of Viking inspired, like Let's Go, slow builds up, sorry. I don't know, like, it's a hard one to actually sort of define, but I thought it was great. And I thought it was just something that was unique for the year for me, and was definitely something different that really inspired me to, sort of look up things like it. It was just great. It was really solid. The only real issue I have is that I feel like he does a fantastic job sort of building. And when you get to like a bit of a crescendo, he drops it off, and then he builds again, and then he drops it off, and he builds again. And then it's kind of like, here's your moment. And sometimes he doesn't quite hit the moment where I'm just like, let's go. Like, he just misses that little part for a few songs. But generally speaking, like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I like the upbeat tempo and stuff too. Have you heard of them? No? him?
No, no, I
Right.
have not. Interesting, interesting. I have to check that out too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
already I have stuff now on my list with your honorable mentions. So yeah.
Well, I
See,
think
we have to,
we're like each
we,
other's
we,
bane. Like, yeah,
we have
we
to
just keep
wait
making
more
it
than six
worse.
months
That's right. All right. Yeah, we'll have to have a 2.0 version of this as well, right? Yeah, we decide whose
right
list is actually the
in,
best.
in 2026. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, So, but I think that my number eight might be something that you have not heard. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark there to say that. But my number eight, actually, this is not a full-blown album. This is an EP. So if people thinks that that is not good enough, for the list, then what the hell? Put Bent Knee on number 10. I don't know, but my number eight is Dirty Loops with the EP Beagle. So Dirty Loops is a band from my hometown Stockholm. Um, it is it's not prog rock. It is more of like a pop. Uh, you know, I would say that this is like if Michael Jackson or Earth, Wind and Fire made love to Dream Theater, and this was born. Because it's like these super musicians. Yeah, it's a nice thought experiment, right? I don't know what what sick orgies you get in your head,
Oh, no,
but
thank you. You shouldn't have gone down that path. Oh my God. I've
I'm
got
sorry,
visions of like Mike Portnoy. I don't want to see that.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, but Any, anyway, I mean, so it's basically the basis is something that would be, Earth, Wind and Fire or Michael Jackson, but then they prog out with it, and they have this extreme musical prowess and proggy sessions in it. It's not they don't go on for 10 minutes, but they absolutely prog out in that sense. So I even heard someone call it progressive pop or whatever, but I did not think of that at the time when I heard of this band for the first time in like 2019, and they released an album in 2019, which I think is better than this, but um, and then they also released an album together with Corey Wong. And actually, they have collaborated with Quincy Jones, of course, produced with Michael Jackson and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, I mean, this is just, I mean, excellent upbeat shit. If you have a little bit open mind and or as a prog head and you want something different, I would totally check this out. If you haven't checked the 2019 album Phoenix out, I would do that first. But yeah, this is yeah, they deliver. They got a bit famous because they covered a bunch of like old Michael Jackson songs. The singers has a very similar voice to him, but I mean, their covers is not where it's at. That was probably good for promotion, but their own stuff, that is where it's at. That's when they and the bass player, slapomania, and the drummer, it's wow. It's wow.
Dude, that
If you
sounds
haven't checked
cool.
this band out, do it, man. Do
Oh,
it.
I will definitely check it out. I will definitely check it out. My seven and eight, look, they're pretty much of a muchness. Like they're really close to me. They're nearly impossible to pick between. But I'm gonna put the next one in as Caligula's Horse. You did mention it before, so I
I
thought
knew it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I put Charcoal Grace up as a good, really solid album. It did take me a while to get into it. It did. I thought the first two songs were instantly like they instantly kind of grabbed me, and I thought this is going to be great. But the sort of Charcoal Grace itself in 4 or 5 parts, however many it is, I thought was it meandered. It was beautiful. It was great, but it didn't like click with me until I'd done enough repetitions.
Mm.
I thought it ends pretty strong, this album as well, with I think it's Mute and whatever the other track is. I don't know. I thought it was a step up for these guys in some ways. like my favorite things by them was Graves by on the album In Contact, I think it is. I thought that was a really special song, and for me, this kind of continues along that way. It's kind of, they're trying to hit you in the feels. They sort of draw things out. It's an emotional sort of rendition, I guess, of this kind of genre. And when they go hard, it's really fantastic. But also the soft, atmospheric, ambient moments are pretty cool. So I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I think it's refined. I think compositionally, it's much more mature than some of the other stuff that they've done as well. And so for me, I think just the whole package of the album itself kind of elevates it. And I'm sort of really excited to see if they can get where they lead from here as well. I really feel like if they can balance, if they sort of got the hookiness and the upbeat feels that they have in like some of their earlier works, and they can get it this refined and this compositionally put together, I think the band's going to hit a home run for the next one. And this one definitely was a home run for me. What do you got on? What's your next?
So next is my teenage hero, Bruce Dickinson, who released Afterglow of Ragnarok, of, as we say in Sweden, Ragnarök. But yeah, he didn't put the umlaut on there. So this is super heavy it's a little bit, you had, of course, Blaze Bayley on the vocals before he made the comeback, and Blaze Bayley after that did his solo thing, which was way heavier, like way fatter guitars and double kicks and stuff like that, and which was cool, but of course his Blaze is not Bruce, and this is like you have all that heaviness, those 7-string guitars, all that really wall of sound with Bruce's soprano. It's a beautiful blend. It fits so good together with a really heavy, dark stuff, and then with his voice on it, and I mean, this is heaps better than Maiden's last 2 or 3 albums. And I think that Bruce Dickinson doesn't have a bad solo album, and this is one of the better ones. So I'm very, very positively surprised by this. I didn't expect too much of it. It was even like I thought I was a little bit over Bruce Dickinson or Iron Maiden. No, I wasn't. This is a super, super cool album. So that's my number 7.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I haven't heard it. I saw there was a few people that gave it the big thumbs up as well, but I didn't check it out. So I think we're doing a pretty good job of hitting things that the other person hasn't listened to. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I take everything I said earlier back. Everyone watching, I will need another 6 months to make my final decision.
So far, there's no
no crossover. Yeah,
I know at least one. I think 2 actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
We'll find out, won't we? So I'm gonna jump to where it's 7. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number 7 is Vola. They released Friend of a Phantom, and I know this album got a bit of flack. I know a lot of their diehard fans said it was a bit choppy, as in like they said, so many of the tracks could have been on many of their other albums. It just looks like the snippets that didn't sort of make it onto it. But I don't know, regardless, I think the songs are great. And the reason that I've ranked it at 7 is I just enjoyed it. Where Caligula's Horse got sort of pushed up a little bit because of its composition and the way they put the album together, and how it's kind of masterfully sort of blended, and produced and thought about. Vola doesn't have that. It's just, they're catchy songs. I really enjoy them, and there isn't a song on here where I go, that's not for me. So I think for those of you that haven't heard of Vola before, they're, I guess, like a very synth-driven, very modern-sounding prog metal, definitely metal. They get a little screamy at times. It's very much my sort of jam, I guess. Like for those who like, know my musical interest and sort of taste. It's really good. Like I think there's many songs that ended up sort of living rent free in my head that I just put on playlists. And so as an album, I think it's good, but individually, I think it's got some really fantastic, fun, upbeat, and also some lower beat kind of stuff as well. So it's kind of great. If you like synth work and something that's a bit creative, definitely check it out. And contrast as well. They've got, that's the thing I like the most about Vola is they have these really big contrasting moments between something that seems sort of light and playful and atmospheric, and then when they want to when they want to go sort of darker and heavier, they really do. Did you
Yeah,
listen to it?
cool. I like them, and yeah, but not enough probably. But you're seeing them also this year.
No, they're coming next year. So they
Oh,
just they just announced that they were coming to Sydney. I think it was in February or January. So I haven't bought the tickets yet, but I will for sure. I definitely want to see them. Should be great.
it's nice that they have a record that you like that they're touring with.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, if they're still touring that record, I don't know. Yeah.
Ish, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number six is also an old friend of mine. Evergrey with their theories of emptiness. I actually did not enjoy this at the first listen, but I guess it was a question of being in the right mood, as it usually is, right? That you just have to be in the same mindset or whatever. Um, and of that said, I still don't like the album they released before that. But yeah, I mean, on this one, I mean, at times they even incorporate some gentish riffs in a way that actually is to my liking. And yeah, it's this might still not be as good as in what I consider their golden era around 2005, something like that. But I think this is hella good. I think they did a real good job. Yeah, it just needed to, be in the right mindset for it. And no, so eventually it actually ended up in the top 10. Yeah, Theories of Emptiness.
Yeah, I checked it out too. That's the one with, is it Say? Like S-A-Y? Is that
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I
And it
definitely,
maybe a bit too poppy of a chorus. Yeah,
but no, I thought it was okay. It probably would have ended up in like on the edge of my special mentions as well, honestly. I thought it was
mm.
good. And it made me go, oh, I need to like look into this band's discography a little bit more. They've had some, like they've been around a while, right? And they
Oh
have
yeah,
some really devoted
since the
fans. So
90s.
yeah, so because of that, it made me go, I probably should give it a little bit more time. And I wanted to
They're
go
also
back to it.
they've been super productive. So like they never had a hiatus or anything. It's basically like every 1 or 2 years they released an album.
Hmm.
So I mean, in there's a lot to check out, and I mean, I would go back 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool. I will. Well, I plan to, and so I think that's why I maybe didn't quite give this album as much attention. But look, it definitely seemed very cool to me. Very cool.
yeah,
Okay, so but that was your number six, was it?
it was.
Ooh, okay. So my number six is Charlotte Wessels. We spoke about her earlier on this year as well. I've decided that the Obsession was good enough. It was good enough. This band's got I can't remember what website it was, but it got best debut album on one of the prog reviewing websites from the fans that submitted it. I thought it was worth checking out. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. It says a female vocalist, which I'm just having a look through my list now. I've got one, two, There's only two in my top 10, right? So I really wanted to go out of my way this year to look some some good female artists, and see if I can find something to add to that. I just want different sound, but this really delivered. It's got some really catchy, fantastic hooks. It's a little bit poppy in parts, but there's a strong juxtaposition between her sort of high pitched, nearly like soprano kind of singing at some stages, and then some really sort of grindy, dirty sort of metal moments. So I loved that. I thought it was cool. Chasing Sunsets was such an upbeat and incredibly sort of poppy song. I loved it. That ended up on like 3 of my playlists throughout the year. And I think was the most played song on that album, but I think it was The Exorcism or The Exorcist was great too. And there was a bunch of sort of good stuff on there. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. I think she was recently playing maybe at like Hellfest or something in Europe as well. I just saw a whole bunch
That
of.
seems like a hell of a party
Oh my God!
when I've seen pictures. Yeah.
Did you see the films and stuff of it? Oh my God! It might not have been
Yeah.
Hellfest, but she's touring anyway in Europe for sure, and it's around the same time. And heaps of my Instagram feed are filled with it. And yeah, oh, I wish I lived in Europe. Maybe next year, Simon, we can organise to meet up and go together. Maybe I should fly to the Northern Hemisphere or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to hit your number
But
5?
funny, just an observation when you said female vocalists, or yeah, actually the only fully fronted female band is, well, what I mentioned in my honorable mentions there, Bent Knee. For the rest, yeah, there is a couple of comments with shared, um, but or no, well, actually Kaipa is shared, female and male, and I got another one shared. But yeah, no, it's all male singers. Well, I mean, male dominated music genre, I guess. Anyway, so now we go to the upper echelons, uh, and then my number 5 is Airbag, the Norwegian band, the Century of the Self. This was also a new acquaintance for me. I had not heard this band before. This is just like Pineapple Thief, very mellow prog. It's not overly complex. What I do think is that they have better hooks than the Pineapple Thief. Um, and yeah, no, I mean, so I mean, it deserves a higher spot. It's absolutely the same kind of genre as the Pineapple Thief. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have too many too many notes about it. But yeah, no, I just maybe I sell it in weak here. But I thought it was a super album. Yeah.
I think anything from here is going to be, pretty good, generally speaking, across the board, and you've rated it higher. So maybe I should check that out before I do the Pineapple Thief thing again too, right?
Mm.
The next one I have is again really close. My fourth and fifth, I picked on just enjoyment. And so fourth place edged this out, but I don't know if it's actually a better album. But my fifth was Leprous, Melodies of Atonement.
Mm.
So we spoke about this in our Leprous episode. So if you want, my full opinion of it, it took a while to grow. It definitely was not my favorite, and I don't even know if it would have been in my top 10. If we talk like however many months, sort of into the year. For me, it just got better and better, and I think I recognize that the polish and the direction that they're going is something that I kind of like, and it's definitely got its sort of place in my sort of mood suite, if you will. So I'm a pretty moody listener, so sometimes I don't want to listen to heavy stuff, sometimes I don't want to listen to light stuff, sometimes I want poppy things, sometimes I want whatever, and this sort of hits in a way that just makes me go, I could listen to that more often than not. And I quite, I just enjoy the whole experience. Again, this is another band that has big contrast. They go from quiet to loud. They go from, these sort of angelic, soaring vocals to some pretty heavy stuff, and I love that. Yeah, so it gets my fifth place. I thought this one might have been around here for you as well, but maybe not.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, yeah, it's coming up. My all of my top four has changed spots, so they're on a quite even with each other. My number four, at this moment at least, is David Gilmour's "Luck and Strange." Uh, it had a top ranking as number two, but it was never at my number one spot. And this was one of the albums that, the thing is, I hadn't really discovered his solo stuff because I was still, working off the Pink Floyd discography, which I wanted to finish first. But I could not, restrain myself, and I did eventually listen to this album, and I thought it was super cool. It reminded me a lot of Division Bell, the Pink Floyd album Division Bell, but way less bombastic, which is also logical because at that time he was like the sole composer in Pink Floyd. And what I kind of amazed by is that this man who is in like his upper 70s, and been active since what is it, 67. I still think that he does not repeat himself in the thing that if he makes a lick or a riff or a melody, I don't think, oh, this sounds just like on this album or on this. I think he still discovers new melodies, etc. And I mean, wonderful that he makes it into like a family affair. He has his wife writing the lyrics. His children are supporting him with vocals and harp play and support. Yeah, and yeah, you can hear at some points that he's a little bit on the borders of his vocal range, especially on the title track. It's not really critique. It's just an observation. I think it's not wrong that you hear that he's of age. Yeah, great instrumental performances like fretless bass. The harp playing is nice, and his guitar solo game is top tier. So I mean, yeah, this deserved a spot up there. Just there were a couple of albums that I think in the end are better, but absolutely, if you haven't listened to this one, you should.
Yeah, cool. Another one to add to my list. Another one. You're killing me.
Oh, you haven't heard this one?
No, I didn't even look at it neither.
Mm.
I did see a few things that were posted up about it as well, though. So, look, my fourth one, I really, really, really racked my brain about this. This one could have been a special mention. Oh. However, I had a good look at how many times I played the album, how many times I listened to each one of the tracks, and I just loved it. I don't know, like I just loved it. So this is a band called Prehistoric Animals, and the album they did was Finding Love in Strange Places, and I love this album. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was well put together. It was fun. It was different. It's a concept album by a band. I'm pretty sure they're from Germany, if I remember correctly. And their concept album is sort of futuristic, sort of landscape, and you've got like love stories essentially in it. But of course, they're love stories with a bit of a twist. So I think one of them's about someone who, I don't know, falls off a building and the person's singing about like this moment where they sort of meet them. So it's not too cliche, although it does have its moments that are a bit like it. The album is just solid. I think it's great. I think all the tracks are good. They have these what would you call them? Like sort of mini segue tracks in between each one of the major pieces, which I really appreciate. I think it sort of helps to me, I get movie vibes when I listen to this album, in that I feel like a scene is playing out in a city, right? A futuristic neon, filled city. And then I feel like it sort of has like a sort of a segue track, which is the, panning across the city, and then bang, you get the next event that's going on, and then bang, you get another one. And I love it. The last track on the album has also been added to my Christmas list. I think it is just sensational track. So look, check it out. I'd love to hear what people think. I think it's really solid. It's classy. I played it, I don't know, I've got to have had like 300 individual plays if you add up all of the songs put together. But because of that, it gets fourth place. And, if you don't like it, deal with it. Did you say you listened to it, Simon? I saw you give the symbol.
Yeah, I mean, I'm now thinking about, did they do the track Lifeboat, or am I thinking about another band here from Sweden?
Oh yeah, they're not. I said Germany, I think, as well, but yeah, they're a Swedish band. So my apologies, guys. I've like I got that completely wrong. They've released the Magical Mystery Machine was the other album that I've seen, both chapters 1 and 2. So they're two separate albums, but I can't
Uh,
see the one you're after. What did you call it? What was it again?
Lifeboat, I thought. Wow.
No, I think
Maybe,
you might be
yeah,
thinking of a different band, I'm afraid. But
it seems like it.
but maybe check these guys out then, because it means you haven't heard them. So that should
Yeah,
be interesting, yeah.
right.
Yeah. So there you go. That was my number. What did I say? 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're now into the top 3. This is where I think
ooh,
we have to have one crossover in this top 3. I'm sure we will. But
this is where it comes.
this is, yeah,
The
that's
first
right.
one.
Yeah, and the funny thing
First,
is you said yours moved. My top
yeah,
3, well, one of them was added to it for sure, but 2 of them, there's no way they would move. They're unreal.
yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Um,
What did you got at
so
3?
my number 3, an album we talked about a lot lately, just a couple of minutes ago. Melodies of Atonement by Leprous. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, and I mean, if it wasn't enough with what Josh just were saying about this album, you can check out our uh, podcast about their discography, where we talk about all their albums, and we spend a good 15 minutes on this album. So yeah, this was definitely a grower, and you like when I revisited it, absolutely, it uh, uh, scored a lot higher than the first time, even though when I listened to this, it made me check out the rest of their discography because I considered it very good, very appealing. And yeah, it at the time of release, this was my number one actually. But so some stuff happened. Um, yeah, super cool album. There's I don't think I have too much to add about it that has not been said before. Yeah,
Check it out.
open your yeah, exactly, open your mind. Do not expect the technical prog metal in the classic sense, and just let the album embrace you and embrace it back.
This my number 3 was Mia, Wheels Within Wheels. Um, I'm looking at you very carefully. I'm trying to work out, is that a poker face smile? He hasn't got it in his top 3 or not. But I thought this was a fantastic album. I think they're a 6-piece, if I remember correctly. They're, I guess, like symphonic. They've got like multiple strings in there. And I think it's just a really, really refined and well put together and structured album. It's got some fantastic sort of like ballads in it, like Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, and some funky upbeat sort of songs in it as well. But I just thought it was fantastic from the beginning to end. This one's a duet, so you've got both a male and female vocalist. So I guess it sort of semi counts on what I was saying before. But it's just great. I think it was put together really, really well, and it made me go and explore their previous discography. And in all honesty, I like their previous album to this one just as much, although many, many, many people that I heard writing about this, talking about this band, said this was by far better. You can be the decision makers at home. Comment below if you. I'd love to know what people's thoughts are. But I thought this was a really sensational album, and this is a top A tier kind of one for me. Have you? Is it on your list?
Well, my number two is a yeah, is that album. Yeah, so
We
yeah,
can.
it's an awesome album, right? It's
Yeah.
I felt a little bit like um, it's very unique. I mean, I don't know if you could call this prog metal. I don't think you can. I mean, which is to me, it was refreshing because I thought that prog metal was getting a little bit saturating the prog market a little bit, and
Yeah, I wouldn't call
this
this
is
prog metal at all. I'd
no,
call it
no, this is more
prog-ish,
like
prog light
like
synth.
alt rock. It sounds like alt rock, but it's definitely progressive.
Yeah,
And I mean, it does remind me a little bit of what kind of Scandinavian artistic pop scene is sounding like. Um, Maybe you could compare it to like a softer bent knee, or I would even figure if Lepers did their best to make alt pop, this is also a little bit what it would sound like. You know,
maybe.
it's it, I think it's very much Scandinavian sounding in that sense. And I mean, yeah, perfectly how it's a brother and sister who shares the vocals, and their voices blend so perfectly. The
Yeah,
compositions are super good. Yeah, I mean, this is yeah, and this is something that could be played on radio as well. It's very easy to you know.
yeah. I referred quite a few people to this album who don't listen to the kinds of music that I like, just because I thought it was really strong, easily accessible. The other thing, what I really love about them is they're obviously singing about relationships, breakups and getting back together. And I think this one, I get the vibe of like long-term relationships as well, that are sort of falling apart. And I think just, emotionally it hits really hard. I think there's this strong sort of emotional connection with what they're singing about as well. And that to me is what makes it a really standout sort of album. So my number two is I only discovered this year, and look, it wasn't on many people's lists at all, actually in the top 10, but this one is hands down like baller. I don't know what to call it. Like it was fantastic. So I'm putting Calandra's A Frame of Mind down. This was just such an emotional just gold mine for me. I just loved it. I thought this was one of the most authentic, beautifully put together, incredibly sort of cathartic albums to listen to. It speaks to me of like the state of the world. I think one of their songs is called "The State of the World," and I think I said so many of the messages that are in it just resonated with where my headspace was this year, and so I think this one just it nearly took number one spot for me. It's I don't know how you'd put it. Female vocalist. It's got these kind of Celtic kind of sort of vibes behind it. They do a really fantastic job of sort of building the scene, slow progression, atmospheric sort of noise behind this sort of quite enchanting, sort of forest, like forest spirit kind of vibe. But for me, it was just such a wonderful, refreshing, different kind of experience, and I thought it was just amazing. I thought Untie the Knot was just a killer track, and it really spoke to me. So I don't know, like this is it's a great album. Definitely go check it out. And it's again, sort of progressive light, but sort of hits me in the feels. So it's stole second place from Mia, funnily
Yeah,
enough. Yeah.
I heard some tracks of it. I have yet to check it out more. But what I've heard, I really enjoyed it. It felt a little bit like it's just like Mir. Or however you pronounce it. Um, it is uh, pop, progressive pop-ish. Like it's this is also not metal, right?
No, no,
Or
that's
have I not
right.
heard enough of it?
No,
No.
it's
So
not metal. Although there are some, I think in the first song "I Am," they have this like very slow, dark, ominous kind of electric guitar that might sit beneath it that just sort of creates more and more tension as the song goes on. And you've got
yeah,
those sort of light vocals, and it really sort of they add tension that way. But I would not class this as metal by no means. No,
no,
I'd call
no,
this
no.
folk. I'd call this folk music basically.
Yeah. No, so absolutely, it spoke to me what I heard, and I wanted to. It's still on my list. See, this. Uh, yeah, maybe we'll be more up to date with 2025. I don't
No.
know. Either way, so now it finally has happened.
Let's
We just,
go.
yeah, we made an edit. I was so excited to talk about my number one that I completely skipped Josh's
Terrible.
number two. Yeah,
You missed
uh,
tears streaming down my face, everyone.
yeah,
You
yeah.
missed
We had
me
to cut
like
away the tears.
raging, like throwing stuff against the wall, screaming at him, calling him insensitive. I really wanted to get my Calandra spiel out and he'd ruined everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
But
not, maybe not.
he's had his meds and he's back on track.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
can now present my number one, which
Yep.
it this released at the end of the year. It shooted up to my number one choice, and it stayed there. And it's undisputed. It is nothing that beats it as far as I'm concerned. I would even go to say that this is like the most progressive thing I've heard of the decade. Um, and I'm of course talking about one of my all-time favorite bands, Opeth, with The Last Will and Testament. I thought I was over the death growl kind of music, but this is just too damn good. So, have from my hometown, Stockholm, Mikael Åkerfeldt, his brain has been working on, full capacity. Uh, this, I love it when they do something cool with the concept that this is just paragraph one, paragraph two, paragraph three. It's basically one long symphonic in composition track, and I'm not using the word symphonic here lightly because they don't reuse a single riff or a single verse or a chorus or melody. It never repeats itself, which I think is fucking impressive. And of course, that also kind of means that it might not it might take a while before this clicks with you. It's super complex, um, and it goes from highs and lows. Of course, that Ian Anderson, Jethro Tull, is featured on it with as some fluting and spoken word. Uh, of course, just raises it to that ought to be like a childhood dream come true for Mikael Åkerfeldt. Um, and it's fun to read the story along with it. Unfortunately, I have to say, maybe it's because I'm not a native English speaker. I had to read it while listening to it. It doesn't come, or maybe I'm too focused on the instrumental stuff. Otherwise I'm not paying enough attention to the story, so to speak. But it's this is like I don't know, thick as a brick on steroids or something. Yeah, super. Wow. I think this is pushing barriers and borders with what you can do, and I really hope that this is like taking making a new trend in the progressive field with when making this kind of concept albums that never repeats itself. Uh, I was blown away from this. Yeah,
I think
That's my number one, my
this
undisputed number one.
this band, it was number one for so many people, right? So many people. And look, this is one of the reasons why I'm trying so hard to get into that sort of heavier side of music, because I can just see so many fantastic things within what they do. But still, to this like moment, I still haven't quite cracked the heavy genre. So unfortunately, for all of those who thought this probably would be my number one as well, it's not even on my list because I just haven't given it enough time, and I really don't want to until I feel like I'm sort of ready for that. So maybe I'll get there in 2030. I don't know, but look, the amount of praise that this album's got has was really significant and huge. So I think for anyone who's out there that were missing those sort of heavier vocals because of the sort of progressive slant that OPEF
No,
went
but it's
on.
not even about that. He could even have skipped it. It would still probably been my number one. Because at first, like when he switched over from only doing or to doing only the clean vocals, I was a little bit upset at first because at that time I was absolutely, especially into metal, yeah. And later now where I'm more into prog, I've come to especially appreciate the progressive records. He has 4 records before that, which is only a clean song, and actually also he released one in like 2003 that was only clean vocals. And I mean, those I would say are my favorite at the moment. So when I heard that, oh yeah, the Death Growls are back and they released that as a single, I was, mildly, maybe even underwhelmed. I thought, like, is he now, attending to the, to trying to please the metal, fans? But when I heard the album, that's where it's at, and you really have to listen to it as one big entity.
Yeah. Once you kind of unpack it all, you can get maybe a better appreciation for
I also
what they're
noticed
doing.
that a lot of times that is it. Like a band releases their single, uh, and then you usually get hyped or whatever. But like after that, I just want to hear the albums in their entirety. In this genre, I think that it's that's how you're supposed to enjoy this stuff either way. And in this case in particular, because in this case the first single also didn't do that much to me, but the album, it's a 10 out of 10 stars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's great. So this is why it's really funny. So my number one is on the opposite end of the progressive spectrum. Like when people found out this was my number one album, they laughed at me. So they laughed at me because my number one is a band named Kairos, and it's an album called Mannequin. And I thought Mannequin was just a sensational, fun album. And for me, it's this really synth pop, um, you know, sort of
Actually, I got
masterpiece.
these confused a little bit with um, the Calandra, I think,
Oh, right.
because yeah. But I heard both of them. I just confused them a little bit. Like it a shitload. I just need to check it out more. Yeah. Sorry.
It's
Continue.
okay.
Continue.
No, it's fine. They're fun, they're poppy. They've got a really eclectic grasp on how to put together sort of a song, and then on top of that, the album themselves. I think they're pretty unpredictable. The bass playing in it really slaps. Like it's good. I don't know what you call this. It's kind of like art pop synth prog-ish kind of stuff. It's got some real standouts for me that I just remember playing over and over and over and over. I think it was like Illusions Inside, Esoterica. Like there was just some really strong sort of songs on here. Let me have a look. Digital Fear, The End in Mind, Liminal Space, Technology Killed the Kids 4. That's sensational. It's just a good album. It's a really solid album. I love the tone. And for me, as somebody who, like, you probably got this from the stuff that I was referring to earlier. I like these big contrasts between sort of dark and heavy and gloomy, and then something that's soaring and beautiful and light. And I like all of that stuff. But this is sort of that other end of the playful end of the spectrum. And for me, there needs to be some play and mucking around and some joy. And this definitely evoked that. And so this one takes out my number one because I just enjoyed it so much. A little bit, in contrast to some of the other, I don't know, you'd call them like emo kind of sort of vibe things where really it's about the tortured soul and, like what's happening here. This one was just light. It was fun and it was really engaging. And if you listen to it and really listen to it, there's just so many layers and intricacies that are behind what's going on. And I love the way they break things down. And yeah, just check it out. It's really cool. So, yeah, and then for so many people, they're like, how could you put Caligula's horse and this in the same, sort of list? But that is me. Quintessentially, I'm a bit of a, like over here and over here and over here and over here and over here. And I wander around a lot, hence the prog wander.
Look, man, I would say that this heavy Opeth stuff is also not my main course, usually. But I mean, a good album is a good album, and then it doesn't have to fit your preferences at this point, maybe. By the way, just between parentheses, I was not thinking of prehistoric animals. I was thinking of pattern-seeking animals.
Yes. Okay. And so that makes more sense to me. That makes more sense.
And what makes even worse is from their album Prehensile Tales. So, or Prehensile Tales. Yeah. How do you pronounce that? Yeah. So
there you go. I should have picked up on it as soon as
so
you
much
said
confusion in this episode for me.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. For you, you've got an excuse. It's early morning, so it's fine. Don't worry. I'm sure everyone will forgive you. Yeah. And by the way, I didn't really rage and throw things at the wall. I just politely said, "Oh no, don't worry about it. We'll just do two of mine next." And Simon's like, "No, we have to cut this." But anyway, if you want to, you can spotlight that or something. So what we've got here is a really diverse grouping. I'm just realizing through this conversation, I've got Kairos at number one, Calandra at number two. So that's two female vocalists. So have you got Mia, right, which is a 50%
yeah, shared.
So I can't count obviously. And then you've got Prehistoric Animals, Leprous, The Obsession, another female artist, Vola, sga'l, Caligula's Horse, and The Old Dead Tree. So it's actually pretty 50-50 split for me there. So I'm quite proud of that. That's great.
Yeah. Very good on inclusion there, and and I got so just a quick rundown there. My number one is Opeth, my number two is Mir, number three is Leprous, 4 David Gilmour, 5 Airbag, 6 Evergrey, 7 Bruce Dickinson, 8 Dirty Loops, 9 The Pineapple Thief, and number 10 House.
So does that mean we only shared 2? I think so.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. And I guess that's the best reason why you guys should continue tuning into our channel, is because you're going to get a diverse, eclectic mix of different types of music, and hopefully, that'll inspire some of you guys, and you'll find some real gems in there too.
Yeah. And if you forgive me, you give it a thumbs up. If you don't forgive me,
give it a thumbs down. That's right. Yeah. Please subscribe, you guys. We'd love you to do that if you can. Thanks for joining us. I had a lot of fun with this, Simon. Thanks so much for spending the time putting this together too, because I know it's a big effort to try and compile everything and work out what's best.
But it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, that's right. So cool. Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys next time, next week. And how's about we leave it there? What do you reckon, Simon? We're good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Next time we go for what we spent our June listenings to.
Oh yeah, that should be good too. Yeah, look forward to seeing you then, everyone. Otherwise, peace out. See you later.
Peace.
Bye.